Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Window Shopping. I'm your host, Stephen Mead with Domicile Real Estate for people who love houses. I am super excited to talk about this house today because it is one that is actually very personal to me. It is a custom mid-century modern home that you can afford, or that I think actually a lot of people can afford, especially in the world of custom designed, architect designed homes. I think this one is extremely affordable, but it's designed by the same architect who designed my own house. So I kind of have a little bit of a soft spot for this one. But before anyone really gets into it, affordability is a relative term. It is a little hard to call anything that is $1.15 million affordable. But like I said, in the world of custom mid-century modern homes, I think this one is extremely affordable. So let's get to it. I'm super excited to talk about this house. It's located in Signal Hill, which is funny because I think Signal Hill is a place that most people wouldn't think cool architect designed homes work. And even from the street view, this is a cool house. And just to kind of introduce it, it is 2530 East 21st Street in Signal Hill. This home is listed by Greg Roberts with Coldwell Banker Realty, but as always, you deserve your own representation. We would love to represent you as a buyer. We know a lot about this architect and these houses. And one of the things I love about this house from the get-go is there's already a really cool custom detail. And I don't know if it shows up in the video, but if you see this roof line here, the garage doors are actually shaped in alignment with the roof. So they're not perfectly rectangular garage doors on this house, which is just really kind of a cool little feature that architect Paul Tay threw in there. And Paul Tay was an architect who built, really a lot of houses in Long Beach. Most of them are in the Park Estates area. He was actually known for designing a lot of ranch homes in the 50s, large ranch homes. And then as he got a little bit older and went into the 60s, he kind of started doing a little bit more experimental design on unique lots. And this is one of those houses that really kind of shows him pushing the boundaries of what you could do. And I'll talk about that in a second. So, this is one of those houses we actually have a bridge that goes from the street to the house because the lot slopes away from the street. And once you're inside, this is the main living room. It's got what I call sort of this characteristic Paul Tay fireplace. A lot of his ranch homes had this with this kind of exposed hood design. Super cool. The other thing that I want to mention that I think might not be apparent here is that this is a multi-level house. And that's going to be really important because I want you to sort of take note at the different kinds of flooring that you see. So we've got another level up here. This is the area where you walk into the house. This is the kitchen area, which kind of there's two ways to get down to that living room section. Really awesome views too. It's not apparent from here, but this is downtown Long Beach. So you are looking, there is ocean view from this house. The kitchen is large, open, and airy. Really, this is a cool house design. I think if there's one criticism maybe to this house design, it's that because of these multiple levels, the kitchen is a bit detached from the main living area because it's on this upper level. You kind of have a dining room space over here. They built it in as a banquette. I'm not sure that's exactly what I would have done in this space with it. You also have these large patio spaces, and that's going to be important in a second. And I'm gonna tell you why these large deck spaces are really important. Again, this is the view. This, in my opinion, this photo doesn't really do the view justice. On nice days, you can see Catalina Island from this house. I mean, really, it's a wonderful view. This is the primary bedroom, and it's on a lower level. And I don't know if you can see this too closely, but this is kind of important. There's not a lot of space between these walls of glass and the fence. And that's going to be a recurring theme here. So again, this is that primary bedroom. This is a post and beam construction house. The shape of the house is a giant triangle. So these rooms do have a little bit of an unusual shape. But I think that gives the house a lot of character. This is the primary bathroom. It's got a sunken tub shower. That's kind of another Paul Tay-ism that you see in a number of the houses. Um, they've done some work here, and this home was featured on an architectural tour in 2008, and I think a lot of these finishes feel like early 2000s to me. And to be honest, that's actually one of my criticisms of this house, is that I wish some of this stuff had been done maybe with a little bit more of a timeless design, right? Because I think this is one of those houses where having a little bit of restraint, less is absolutely more on a house like this. Another ensuite bathroom that we have. This house has 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. It's really kind of a cool design. By the way, we have other flooring materials, and I'll get into that in a second. This is another bedroom which looks out onto this area. You can see the other house next door. Again, that's going to be a recurring theme. We've got a beautiful home office. And really, this is the largest yard area of this house. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to show you something. If I can, there we go. This is an overhead view of the property. Again, this house is triangularly shaped. Really, it's an innovative design for what is frankly kind of a little bit of a bizarre lot in Signal Hill. And I think Paul Tay was totally up to the challenge of designing a cool house. But one of the problems that you see here, and the reason why this house has been on the market 14 days and it has not sold, is you don't have a lot of traditional yard space in a house like this. So the reality is these deck spaces are super, super important to this house. I mean, you really have to kind of adjust your expectations of how you live in a single family, residence, because it's going to be a little bit different. They've got a hot tub out here, but one of the things you notice is this is the neighboring house right here. You were kind of looking into this yard. So, this is really an absolutely spectacular house. I don't think there's any better opportunity to own just amazing architecture for this level of budget, but it comes with some compromises. And I think there are some things that you're going to want to change in this house. So let's jump into it. What would we do if this was our house? So number one, this house needs unified flooring. If you have a multi-level house like this, it is super important to maintain that flooring throughout because it connects those spaces. Right now, that is not happening. I would absolutely do that. I also think the flooring chosen, especially the tile work, has a little too much contrast in it. It's just a little too much for my personal taste. New front landscaping. So, I want to go back to this, right? This house has just an absolutely amazing front facade. And I just think that these hedges are not quite doing it for the house. And really, it needs something that's maybe a little bit more special. This is a big thing on this house. This house has amazing views, but because of the way this house is crammed in, because it's so close to its neighbors, I don't think that the current owners have done a very good job of controlling the privacy and the views. When you've got walls of glass, you need to control what you're looking out at, as well as who can look in. And I think that if someone were to really give a lot of time to this, I think that would make a huge difference in sort of, how comfortable living in a house like this is when you have these walls of glass in pretty close quarters. I kind of wonder what the original landscaping was like when this home was built in 1962. I have a feeling that the original owners would have paid particular attention to that. And then I've also got on here, subdue the kitchens and baths. I'm going to go back and show this kitchen again, and I'm going to kind of tell you what I'm talking about going through this kitchen. Okay. You just have a lot of materials going on, and this house very much reads early 2000s remodel to me. And I feel like a house like this deserves some design restraint where it really looks timeless. And I'm wondering what could be done to kind of do that within the existing framework without ripping this stuff out. I think I might want to paint the cabinets. I don't think I'd want the cabinetry to be a focal point in this house. I want the views to be a focal point. I want the beams to be a focal point. I want this wall of glass at this entryway to be a focal point. I don't think the cabinetry and the countertops need to be a focal point in this house. If you want a space to go a little wild, do it in like a backsplash, right? Pick and choose how you're diverting attention, because I think this house, too many things are calling for attention in these kitchens and baths. So finally, I think you want cool classic furnishings in a house like this. You know, when you buy an architectural home, and I think I've said this a couple of times before, but when you buy one of these houses, you know, really furnishing isn't just about whatever strikes your fancy. It's really about finding things that work well with the design of the house. I think with a house like this, you want to err on the side of things that are classic and maybe have a little bit of funkiness and interjected into it, right? I mean, the 60s were a cool time with Polynesian modern, tiki modern. This house is located in Signal Hill, though honestly, if you look on a map, most people would probably think it's in Long Beach. It looks at downtown Long Beach. It's a coastal house. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do cool stuff that's going to really match with the house. Finally, let's talk about what does it really cost to own a house like this. Our first scenario is 10% down, $115,000. You've got a total payment of $57,227. That includes taxes, insurance, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's pretty amazing that over $1,700 of that is going towards principal each month. You know, what could you rent out a house like this for? Honestly, a house like this is probably going to be in the $4,500 a month rental. Might as well buy it. At 20% down, you know, that payment gets right down to around $5,100, which is a little bit more manageable. You know, I think when you talk about houses like this, I can't emphasize how rare of an opportunity it is to really own something that was clearly somebody's design vision, right? Somebody worked with Paul Tay on creating an amazing house for an unusual small lot that had these great views. And they really built a house to sort of emphasize that. And you know, I hope a house like this finds an owner who's willing to kind of take that on. I think you just have to kind of understand some of the compromises and challenges when you do that. Anyhow, if you would like to see this house, we'd love to show it to you. We'd love to give you kind of some of our further thoughts, or if you just want to chat about it, definitely hit us up. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. This video comes out on Thursdays. On Fridays, we do come out with our entry level or first time home buyer market updates. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We love the questions, the comments, keep them coming. And, you know, as we always say, houses are too expensive to not live somewhere cool. So definitely live somewhere cool. And we will see you next time.